some of the roles that you played, because you've obviously played Raoul, you played Honduras, who, like Meg, was there anyone that you, in the cast, that you thought, wow, have you ever worked with, guys like Ramin?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many, because I've been really lucky with the people that I played opposite or watched playing, you have like these amazements. Like back in the day, in my first show, I worked with people like David Bardsley, who I just thought he was just so effortlessly good at what he did. And then of course like people like Ramin, I played opposite Ramin. Snook, I mean, there is
Gareth Snook.
There's just no more of a consummate professional than Gareth Snook. I mean, he's just respected by everybody for a reason, because he's so good at what he does. And again, one of the nicest guys in the room, So, you have your Gina Becks and your John Owen Jones, Earl Carpenter. Yeah, I've been lucky with those people, because again, every day's a school day, isn't it? You learn from these guys.
I love it! Quote City, every day's a school day, Simon Bailey. Hey, buddy, loads of young people are watching this as well, and because, for them, you are doing it. They dream of what you're doing right now. What would be a piece of advice that you'd give them about how you've gone about your business?
It's just really a case of just follow what you believe in, really. I mean, if you have an idea of what you want to do, there's going to be 10,000 people who can tell you won't be able to do it, who will say, it's not really in your locker, you don't have the capabilities of doing that, your voice isn't this, your voice isn't that, your acting, just do it. It's about never giving up, because if you go for 100 auditions, 99 times out of 100, the door's going to slam in your face. And that's just going to be, not for me, thank you very much, we're going to go with this guy. But there's one that won't be. And that could be one that changes how your path goes from, once you get on the map, it's easier to work your way around the map. The hardest thing is getting into it. But that's where you just have to be persistent and it's a very hard thing to say, and it's easier, I think, when you're a bit younger. It's just be fearless. There's still that element, now you still have that element of having to be fearless and going for something which, because we're self-doubters. We doubt ourselves whenever we get out of bed in the morning. That's what we do, that's just our mentality. But actually and facing that fear, even though you do doubt yourself, means you can still break through those walls. I had this amazing thing when I first went for Jersey Boys. So I'd been around for a little while. It was a role that I really wanted to do, and I'm not gifted with the dance, as you well know.
Mate, I think I'll be the worst.
But I had a dance call first for a Jersey Boys, and I went into this dance call. And they showed me things, and I was like, yeah, that looks great. I can't. So they were like, you start to go groups of 3. Simon, I was just going sweating blood from here. And they said, no, just for now, follow the routine and do the thing. I just forgot everything on the spot, and these guys were looking at me going, come on. But it just didn't happen. Anyway, so they came over to me and they said, look, that's all we need to see from you today, thank you. And I went, reading between the lines, you know what that's code for, because they were saying, it doesn't mean anything. I was like, it means everything. It means you're not going to see me again. I get it. So I went out I left the audition room. I got straight on the phone to my agent, and I just said, look, I've done something. I kind of freaked out a little bit. I don't care what you have to do, but you need to get me back in that room, because there is no one else who can play Tommy like I can. And she just went, okay. And she was amazing. And then they rang me the following day, and they said, look, can you do this? Do you know it? I was like, well, now I've thought about it, I can. And I went in, did the dance audition again, did it fine. They saw me 2 more times, and they gave me the part. And when I got to rehearsals, the choreographer, Danny, who's awesome, he said to me, he came straight up to me, he said, do you know the time when you got Tommy? He said, it wasn't your singing audition. He said, when you walked back in the room, having not taken no for an answer, that's when we all decided that you were Tommy.
That's awesome.
It was so cool, yeah. And that's the case, just kicking the door down.
Life imitating art.
Yeah.
They were like, that's what Tommy would.
It's what Tommy would have done. But it's also, I think, people really respect when you kind of go, look, I didn't quite get that right. Give me one more shot. Yeah. If I didn't get it, if I still don't get it, then I'll go. But give me this one shot. And it's just a case of not taking no for an answer. Sometimes you have to know which battles to pick, but 9 times out of 10, just kick the door down.
Love it, love it. Is there a role that you still want to play? Is there something that, because obviously we're always, as human beings, we're people, you know, you get Enjolras, then you get Raoul, then you want to play Tommy, and so, I mean, you've played most awesome roles in the West End.
Yeah.
What's next for Simon Bailey?
Well, the lovely thing is, because I was so lucky to get these awesome roles when I was younger. You know, so now I'm moving into a different age category now, where there's now a whole batch of different roles which are now accessible. You know, roles which wouldn't have been when I was 25, and I wanted to go, I want to play, but I still want to play Javert. I still want to stick the mask on. I want to play Phantom. You know, and then of course originating roles. You know, that's kind of what actors want to do, and you know, so hopefully the role that I play next maybe hasn't been written yet. You know, and that's the exciting thing, because it's always evolving, and you know, the theatre's changing as it should do, and roles are changing, roles are switching. We've got gender swap, which could go either way. You know, I think it's an exciting time for all things theatre. I'd love to try TV. You know, I mean, that's never really kind of come my way as such, but it's something I definitely love to try. You know, because until you try, you don't know if you want to do it or not. Yeah.
Simon, also, for you, those who don't know, we have a concert act at Incognito called Bravo Amici, and Simon has come on two tours of the USA with us and been a star. Not only is he incredible on stage, but is incredible off stage. He's just the nicest of guys. And so when you were saying about Snooki and Bill and all those guys, it's like you're the epitome of that nice guy, and that's why I think you work so much. People love you. You're a freaking talent, but also you're just one of the nicest guys.
Thank you.
So one other last question, I just and I ask this. It's a bit woo-woo, but having the knowledge that Simon Bailey knows now, what you've been through, your experience you've had, what would you go back and say to your 18-year-old Simon Bailey and say, Simon, do this?
That's such a good question. I mean, I think I wouldn't have changed any specific moment. I think I would never, if you go back and say, if you change this would happen. I don't think I would ever do that, because the path that I've taken unwillingly, unknowingly, like I didn't know where I was going when I was doing it, but we ended up here. So I wouldn't change anything like that, nothing directional. What I think, if you're going to whisper in your younger self's ear, it would just be to reiterate that, you know, life's tough, so be tougher. You know, I think that's all it is. Just be prepared to be knocked down. Because there's that great quote, there's a great Rocky quote, isn't it? It's about not how many times you get hit, it's about how many times you keep getting up. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, it's because that's what life's about, isn't it? It's about sometimes when things are great, enjoy that. And then when they're not so great, find a way of making them great again. So I think it's just that you whisper and just go, things are going to get rough, but just take it on.
Nice.
And win. Win! Come on!
Mate, Simon Bailey, absolute legend. If you haven't seen Jersey Boys or Simon in Jersey Boys, go and see him. He's an absolute rock star. Hey, love you, man.
Love you.
Oh.